Hi, I'm Patrick with the stories that stunned the soap world. Are we about to find out who Kat's playing away with? It appears so, after Kat cancels a date with her man to spend time with Alfie, who then blows her out. So of course she immediately gets on speed dial to a stud. Later, a brawl breaks out in the Vic after the pub team's kicked out of the league and Derek starts on Ray. When the dust settles, Kat cleans her lover's cut hand and he writes "I love you" on a bandage. Sharon decides to quit the square when she realises little Dennis will find out the truth about his dad's death. But Dennis pleads with her to stay, much to Ian and Jack's delight, who puckers up to cash in on his winning bet. Anthony asks Alice out and the smitten pair kiss. But just as love begins to bloom, Joey distracts him with a high-stakes poker game. Anthony gambles and loses big. He has to sign over the Emporium to Derek, and ashamed, he quits the square. Elsewhere, Jay looks for an ally in Abby, but she refuses to see him, and Zainab's unhappy when AJ turns up looking for a bed. Next, we're in Weatherfield. Tommy's suspicious when he sees Tyrone with a scolded hand and accuses Kirsty of abusing him when she complains about Ty spending time with them. Tyrone admits to Kirsty he confided in Tommy, so she issues an ultimatum. Next thing you know, Tommy's sacked, and vengeful tells everyone in the Rovers about the abuse. So Tyrone reveals his drug scam in the garage. Steve worms his way out of taking Ryan to a gig so he can pry on Michelle, who's cozying up to Rob over dinner. She assures Steve she's not interested in Rob, but maybe she should focus on her lad. He sells his gig tickets to Sophie to buy drugs, and Michelle later finds him in a bad way after an all-nighter. Carl's got that slightly deluded look in his eye as he convinces Sunita to give him $1,000 to buy smoke detectors in bulk. She agrees to his scheme, mainly to irritate Dev, and is hugely relieved when Carl actually manages to flog them. Is the wrong-in coming good? Somehow I doubt it. Next, we're in the Dales. Laurel's finding it hard to break the news about her and Marlon to an increasingly chipper Ashley, so someone does it for her this week. Earlier, she alarms Marlon when she says she can't be in court for his custody case, but does show up to hear Rona telling the judge that the New Zealand trip was all on until he got a girlfriend. The judge rules that Leo must stay in the UK until the next hearing in 6 weeks, and a devastated Rona tells Marlon he'll never see Leo again. Paddy snaps in the pub when he overhears Rodney and Diane discussing their plight and goes public about Marlon and Laurel. Ashley is stunned and returns to Tall Trees humiliated to pack, then fills the kids in on the domestic shambles. But Rona isn't going to quietly acquiesce to Marlon. She tells Paddy they should leave for New Zealand anyway, he won't be able to touch them there. Nikhil is gobsmacked when he catches David and Priya kissing, but David comes clean about his sham marriage, not that Nikhil's sympathetic. He says they have to stop seeing each other, although they agree to in secret. And Charity continues to drive Jimmy and Carl apart, secretly rebranding the lorry with Noah and Angel's faces. Stand back and wait for Nicola's reaction.